Hello students, welcome to a lesson through the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher, and in this lockdown period, since we are not able to go to school children, we will be doing many lessons here online through the virtual class. So come on, let's proceed to our lesson for today.
Hello children, let me welcome you all to yet another lesson in social studies through the virtual training center of the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. And this is a lesson under the work from home sessions, and I am your virtual class teacher, Shraddha teacher. So children, we were doing the lesson last time. If you remember, let's see what that lesson was about. So it was about the ancient artifacts or the ancient things that help us to learn more about the history, isn't it? So we talked about the skeletons that we find of various types of animals which existed in historic times, or we talked about the wall paintings, isn't it, or the coins that we have found when we were digging up the earth for various reasons. We also see many buildings standing even today which are a proof of history or things which have happened in the past or events of the past. We also talked about the various books which are available to us from which we learn about history. So all these things, children, they teach us more about history, isn't it? That is why we call them as sources of history. So we were doing this lesson, Sources of History, that is lesson number 2 from your history textbook last week. So today we are going to continue that lesson and we are going to do part 2 of this particular lesson today. So children, let us quickly revise what we did last time in 1 or 2 images. So last time when we met, we talked about sources of history and we talked about the various types of sources of history. We talked about material sources, that is the various coins, etc. are part of the material sources. We talked about the written sources, the books, etc. that we get to read. Okay, these are all the written sources of history. We talked about the oral sources of history, that is the various stories that people have told and the stories which have been passed on from generation to generation. They might not be things which are written about these stories, but they are simply narrated from one generation to another generation, and that is how it has been preserved even today. So these are called as the oral sources of history. We learned all this last time, isn't it? And we also were going to talk about the sources of ancient Indian history and the precautions which should be taken while writing history. So these were the points in our lesson. Now out of these points, we have talked about the material sources of history, if you remember last time, children. So today we are going to talk about the remaining 2 sources of history. That is, we will talk about what are written sources and what are the oral sources of history. So let us get started and let us see what are the written sources of history, or what is the meaning of written sources of history. So anything which is in writing, that is which you can read, is called as written. Alright, even in school when you give your exams, you have an oral exam and you have a written exam. Now an oral exam is something when your teacher asks you certain questions and you reply to those questions. You do not give her anything to read, you just make her listen to your answers. That is oral. Okay, but what is written? Written is when you write down the responses to the questions and the teacher is able to read those answers and she is able to give you marks or evaluate them. So those are called as written exams, isn't it? In the same way, oral exam, and in the same way that oral exams and written exams are different from each other, in the same way you see that the written sources and oral sources and material sources are different from each other. So what are written sources? Written sources are those sources which you can read from and you can understand more about the history of a particular place or history of a particular time. Now in today's time, children, when you are reading, you have so many different sources where you can read. You can read from your computer, you can read from your phone, isn't it? But in the ancient times, there was very limited source in which people could write. There were very limited ways in which people could write. Alright, they used to write either on these kind of paper which is not used now anymore. Nowadays we use very good quality and machine made papers. That time people used to make use of these kind of handmade papers. Okay, they used to write on stone tablets. So these are examples of writing in an old stone tablet and writing on a book. Okay, and then you will see that people have also written on the walls. They have written on the bricks. So these are bricks which have been used to make a wall. Have you seen these kind of bricks used in construction in the building today? You make use of bricks, but these are a little ancient kind of bricks. Okay, now when the mud used to be wet, when the clay used to be wet to make the bricks, people used to write things on it using sharp pointed objects, and when it used to dry, these inscriptions also used to become permanent. Okay, these kind of bricks are also a kind of written history. You can read from them. They can also be considered as material sources of history too. Okay, then see here, this is a brick. On that they have written something. Now remember the script that we use today. We either write in Hindi, we write in Marathi, we write in English, we write in many of the regional languages. But in those times this was a way different kind of scripture, okay, or a different kind of script. You and me will not be able to read or understand what is being written here. Okay, so these are all written sources of history. So if you and me cannot understand, then who are the people who try to know this? Those people are the historians. Those people who are the ones who study various ancient languages, and they read this and they try to get more meaning from these kind of script, and then we know what must have happened in history at that time. That is why these are very important sources of history. Okay, let's look at the next image. See, this is such an interesting way things have been written. They are rectangular pieces of the leaf of some kind of plant or some kind of tree. Okay, they've written on that particular leaf. When the leaf is wet, they write on it, so that when the leaf becomes dry, what happens is this writing can be seen easily and it can be preserved also. And see how they've used you can say a sharp object to poke a hole into that rectangular leaflet, and they have tied it up using a thread. So children, see, these are all the ways in which people in the ancient times used to write, and all this has become a very important source of history which we call as written sources of history. This is a tree, that is the birch tree, or in our language we say burja tree, which was used by our ancestors, by the people in the ancient times, to write a lot. Now the bark of this tree, or in Hindi we say na ped ki chhal, so the bark of the burja tree was used in order to write. Now they must have found something very unique about this bark which made them write on this kind of a bark of the burja tree. They used to make use of sharp pointed objects, and they used to write on the bark of the burja tree. They used to write on the leaves of the palm tree. Alright, you must have seen the palm tree, the coconut palm is there. There are many different kind of, the date palm is there. Alright, the leaves are thin but they are flat, and they used to cut them and they used to write on them, dry them, and then pack them into batches. Okay, so this is how writing was done in the ancient times. So you can see a person here writing. Alright, he's using a pointed object to write on that leaf. Now children, at that time ink and pens and ballpoint pens like we have now were not available. Today you can write on the screen of your mobile also, isn't it? So technology has gone so far ahead today, but this kind of technology was not available during the ancient times. So these were the writing techniques that they used in order to preserve the various events, in order to preserve the various stories that might have happened in the past, and all these today are part of the written sources of history. Okay, These kind of books, it is not necessary that it is written only in Sanskrit or it is written only in languages of the Indian subcontinent, but these kind of things were available even in many Western cultures. Alright, like for example the Greek cultures, or even in the Egyptian people also used to make a lot of written records like these. Let's move on and let's look at a beautiful old book. Can you see the pages of the book? They have become really, you can say, they have been preserved with a lot of care. And you can see this is a part of a museum. Okay, someone has used it and someone has preserved it, and now it is part of the treasures that you can find in a museum. So why did they keep such things in the museum? So that people like you and me can go and see them. So we know that these kind of things existed in the past, and that is called as sources of history. See, here at least I think you can make out a few letters of the alphabet. You can see one M here, you can see a A, you can see an N, a T, but I'm sure it is not the English language that we know of today. It is definitely some other script. Okay. What are these now? These are copper plates. Now imagine writing on a book with a pen is so difficult for us, isn't it? Most of us, our handwritings need a lot of improvement. But imagine someone writing on a copper plate. Imagine someone writing on a copper plate. What do you think? The process must have been very, very difficult, isn't it? The process must have been very, very difficult. So just imagine how difficult the life for people at those times must have been. So this is a set of copper writing. Okay, copper plates which have been punched together, and this is also an example of a written record. Now let us look at some sources of ancient Indian history. So the literature which the Buddhist people produced in India, the literature produced by the Jain people in India, followers of Jainism, followers of Buddhism, all these are part of ancient Indian literature. When we talk about Indian history, we are talking about history of our country only. Now when we talked about the material sources till we saw now, we talked about our written sources. These could be used as, or these could be studied as sources of history which can be found in any part of the world. But now that we are talking about the things that we will speak about now are sources of ancient Indian history in particular. Okay, so there are various pieces of literature created by the Buddhist, you can say followers of Buddhism, followers of Jainism. All these are examples of history, sources of history. Now let's look at these two great epics of India, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. Even these are sources of ancient Indian history. You learn a lot about places in India and so many things which must have happened in India from these books. Okay, now there are many travelogues. Now travelogues are nothing but they are the kind of diary, or they are the kind of information or recorded by the people who used to travel far and wide. So when they used to go to a new place, when they used to see things around the new place, new things or something interesting, they used to jot it down, and that became a travelogue, which further went on to become a very important source of history. So there were many, you can say, foreigners, Europeans as well as Chinese travelers who came to India, and these people wrote about their experiences in India, and all these have become part of the ancient Indian history. See various books from the Vedas. Now this is the Vishnu Purana. Okay, then grammar in Sanskrit, and many books regarding literature in Sanskrit, etc. All these are part of ancient Indian history. Now this is a book on history of India, especially for children like you. Okay, so you can read this book, you will get more knowledge about ancient Indian history. So there are such books also which have been written in recent times and which give you an idea of what history in the ancient times, what India was like during the ancient times. Now if you look at this book carefully, see it is 3000 BC to 1947 AD. So here you will get information about 3000 years prior to the birth of Jesus Christ, to the time we got our independence from the British. So you can imagine such a vast time period is covered in this particular book. So this is all a part of ancient Indian history. Now let us come to the last source of history that we have, that is the oral sources of history. Oral means what? Oral means something which you speak, like I gave you the example of your exams. Okay? So an oral exam is an exam where you do not write anything, you just say the answers and the teacher hears you. In the same way, oral sources of history means information about history which you hear. Now what do you hear and you know about history? So you hear old stories about things which must have happened in the past, from your grandparents, from your elders. Okay? Now these stories are not written anywhere. You might not find a written record of these stories, but these are a very important part of history. And then you have these folk songs. People used to dance. Even now, children, we have these various kind of folk songs. Now in the month of Shravan, now we have the month of Shravan which has started since a week ago. There are so many festivals which come up. We have Nag Panchami right now. We had Nag Panchami now. Then we have Ganpati very soon after the Shravan month gets over. In that you sing Aartis to God, okay, in praises of Lord Ganesha. All these are oral sources of history. Then the folk songs, the Rajasthani folk songs, the Gujarati folk songs, the Marathi folk songs, all these songs are also part of oral sources of history. Okay? And then we have folk tales also, which people tell and which people pass on from generation to generation. So children, this was about the various sources, you can say, of history. We talked about the material source in the previous lesson, and in this lesson we talked about the various written sources and the various oral sources of history. So hope you were able to understand this lesson well, and hope you enjoyed watching the pictures which I showed you. Okay, so that is all for today, children. Let's meet again at a future date and learn some more interesting things in social studies. So let me say goodbye to you now from the Virtual Training Center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika till we meet again.
So children, wasn't that a wonderful video, and did you enjoy watching it? So if you want to watch more such videos in future, then please like this video and also subscribe to our channel, the MCGM Portal for Education, and also hit the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video here. Thank you so much for now. Let's meet again soon.